Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at next action date. Next action date is a column that you'll see on the dashboard. And also you're going to come across it when you're viewing an evidence item. And if you're an admin, you'll see it when you're adding or editing an evidence item as well. If you're not an admin, you will not see the next action date field when you are adding or editing an evidence item because it's only admins that have the ability to either manually set a next action date while entering an evidence item or edit an existing next action date. So if we were to set our item class to property and provide an incident number, we can see that next action date is automatically calculated for us. But how does it arrive at that date? That's what we're going to take a look at. So if we go over to the user's manual here, which is obviously available from the top of the PDEvidence application under the help icon. But if we look at the manual, it's going to explain next action date for us, and it's going to talk about things like table maintenance and also items requiring update. So I'm just going to walk through that with you, and hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense. So we've always had the feature under admin settings to specify an items requiring update. Items require update value. And what this value is, it's expressed in days, and it is the number of days from the time an item is last touched until it becomes stale. And when the system regards it as stale, it becomes an item requiring update. It's displayed with red shading on the dashboard. It goes to the total number of items requiring update in the red box, and it will appear on various reports that you might run for items requiring update. By the default value of 180 days, what we're saying is that if an evidence item hasn't been touched in any way, no case notes have been added, it hasn't been moved, it hasn't been edited, and that has been 180 days or more since that's last happened, we're going to show it as items require update. But what we found is that one size didn't always fit all. So we came up with a next action date so that we could specify on a per item level when the appropriate time is for that item to be refreshed in some way so that it does not become stale. And we do that based on case type. So if you don't use this feature at all, and you don't have to, your takeaway is that it works exactly the same as it always has. The items require update value, which by default is 180 days, will control the next action date. So if I don't do any other configuration, any changes, every item that I add will have a next action date of 180 days. But if I want to, I can head over to table maintenance and then case type. And what this allows me to do is specify a different value in months for each case type. So for example, if I don't want the 180-day items require update for all of these different case types, if I want to specify my own values for each type of case, I would just say, let's say, for example, arson. If I say that we want those to be refreshed every 36 months, then I would just enter it here and save it. So from there on out, whenever an item is entered with a case type of arson, the next action date will automatically be calculated to reflect this 36-month period. So after 36 months, not 6 months, which is our default items require update, after 36 months, an item will be marked as stale. So it will appear with a red shading and go towards the total number of items requiring update on the dashboard. So it's a pretty simple process. It seems a little complicated at first, but when you dig into it, I think that it can be extremely helpful. Basically, it's providing you a way that you can define the next action date based on a particular case type instead of having a one-size-fits-all, which is the items require update value located in admin settings. But again, you don't have to do this. If you choose to leave all of these blank, then the system will use the items require update to set the next action date. Thanks for joining me.